When I was a kid, my mother taught piano lessons out of our living room, filling our small house with hesitant scales and the occasional triumphant melody. The upright piano was older than I was, a hand-me-down from her grandmother, its dark wood scarred with the ghosts of 1,000 practiced songs. Its middle C key was chipped from years of finding the starting point, and the highest octave barely worked, tinny and faint, but she said it had character, that its flaws gave it a voice all its own. One day, while carefully tuning it, a key under her gentle pressure cracked clean in half with a sound like a snapped wishbone. She sighed, a soft release of air, picked up the ivory piece, and slipped it into her apron pocket as if it were a precious stone. "Why keep a broken key?" I asked, puzzled by this act of saving something ruined. She smiled, her eyes looking past me to some deeper truth. "Because every song needs a missing note. That's how you remember to listen harder for the music that's still there, instead of the one that's gone." Years later, when money got tight and the roof needed fixing, she sold the piano. "To make space for new things," she said, her voice bright and false. When the movers carried it away, its weight leaving grooves in the carpet, I saw her hand flutter to her pocket, a quick, secret touch to make sure the memory stayed behind. After she passed, going through her things felt like reading a book I'd only ever glimpsed. I found that same ivory key tucked inside her old recipe box, a place for ingredients that made a home. Wrapped in a scrap of sheet music, it read in her familiar script, "For when you forget the tune, play something anyway." I didn't play piano, never had her patience or her ear for harmony, but I kept the key in my coat pocket, a smooth, cool talisman. Every time life went off rhythm, a job lost, a love gone wrong, all my careful plans derailed, I'd reach in and touch it, a tiny, solid reminder that broken notes still belong in the song, that the performance doesn't end with the first crack. Last winter, a neighbor's kid, maybe 8 years old, knocked shyly on my door. "You have a piano key, right?" he asked, his voice barely a whisper. "How'd you know that?" I replied, stunned. "My mom said you always keep music in your pocket. She sees you touch it when you're thinking." He held out a small plastic keyboard, one of its white keys completely missing. "Can you fix it?" he asked, hope blazing in his eyes. I laughed at the absurdity, but then I remembered the ivory piece in my drawer. We took it out, and against all odds, it fit the empty space perfectly, a little loose, but it held. When I pressed the note, the sound wasn't exact, a little duller than its neighbors, but it was close enough to fill the silence and complete the scale. The boy's face split into a brilliant grin. "It works!" he yelled. He ran home, the little keyboard tucked under his arm, a clumsy, joyful version of chopsticks trailing behind him, wild and imperfect and utterly alive. I stood in the doorway, the cold air on my face, and realized with a soft and sudden, aching clarity that my mother's lesson hadn't been about music at all. It was a map for the heart. Now, I keep a small, hand-lettered sign above my desk where I see it every day. It reads simply, "Play something anyway." Because in life, as in music, you don't stop when a key goes.